come down into our comfortable seated position. Thank you so much for joining. Today we'll have 4 props with us and a pillow of some sort. And as we settle in, we'll begin to allow our eyes to close. Maybe our gaze starts to soften. And we'll take intentional breaths, breathing in through the nose if it's available. And then slowly breathing out through the mouth, releasing all the air. Again, just another slow, intentional breath like that. As you begin to notice your body and any sensations, aches or pains that might be in our bodies today. Now let's take another deep breath in, filling your lungs completely. And this time, as you exhale slowly, see if you can start to release any tension in your body. As we settle into our present moment, today we'll bring our awareness to the concept of happy endings. Life is a journey filled with a spectrum of emotions, from joy to sadness. And each feeling that we experience is a part of our story, contributing to our growth and our understanding. We have endings many times a day, whether it's the end of something we're watching or the end of a project we're working on. We have endings throughout our week, end of a work week, end of a vacation, maybe. We have endings that are bigger than that and smaller than that. They happen constantly in our life. And as we think about endings, take a moment to acknowledge any feelings you might be having right now. Whether they might be feelings of happiness, sadness, or even somewhere in between. Allow yourself to be present with them without judgment. In mindfulness, we learn to observe our emotions with compassion and curiosity. Can you notice how happiness and sadness can coexist, each giving depth and meaning to the other one? This natural duality is a part of our human experience. Start to focus in on the breathing itself, taking our breathing exercise for today. Breathing in for a count of 3, 2, 1, and then pausing, holding the air in at the top for 3, 2, 1. And then finally extending our exhale out to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll continue this breathing pattern on our own. Breathing in for 3, pausing at the top for 3, and then exhaling and extending our count for 6. Now, as you start to feel this breath and connect with it in your body, maybe you even release the counting and simply have a short inhale, short hold, and a long, steady exhale. That's twice as long as our inhale. We'll continue this pattern of breathing on our own, for just a few more rounds. And as we move through our practice today, maybe commit to embracing a full range of your emotions, the full range of your movements and transitions, knowing that each one is a stepping stone towards your own happy ending today. With every breath, we can cultivate awareness and acceptance, creating space for the peace and balance within. Beautiful job today. We'll allow our breathing to start to return to its natural flow. As we take another deep breath in, we'll offer ourselves a moment of gratitude that we took time out of our busy day to slow things down and meet ourselves here in our sacred space. And then when you're ready, we'll start to wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe wiggle the eyes open, and we'll begin to practice with a sense of openness and mindfulness. Great job. Alrighty, to start class, let's come on over to hands and knees as we come into a child's pose. The knees can be together, separate, nice and wide. You could bring one of those props under your hips if you'd like, or maybe some cushioning under the knees. We're going to start to stretch the arms out long in front of us and sink our forehead down towards the mat. And maybe if it doesn't reach the mat, we bring a block or another prop under the forehead. We have a lot today, so you might find that we have just the right amount. You could even do that pillow under the forehead and just make contact, if available, with the surface and your forehead as we're stretching through here. And you can start to find some gentle rocking movement through the neck. Your head is resting on something, you may find that you're giving yourself a little forehead massage here. Your head is more in a dangle, you're simply twisting left to right, moving through the neck space. Beautiful job. All right, go ahead and find just a little bit of stillness. Your forehead is on something, go ahead and remove that something, and then go ahead and walk your hands both over to the right side as we take a side child's banana stretch. You can reach those left fingertips a little further forward, or even place them on top of the right hand as you sink down over the right leg. Stretching the left side body. Beautiful job. Walk it over to the left. This time, right hand reaches further or stacked on top of left before you sink down. Stretching through that right side body. Great job. Let's exhale to come through center. And then drop your elbows either to the mat, or you could bring a prop under your elbows to rest your elbows on. We're going to take this into a child's prayer twist. So we're going to walk those elbows over to the right side of our space. We're going to bring our hands to a prayer. And then maybe even interlace the fingers if that feels a little more sturdy. Begin to lift the right elbow towards the sky, which should help twist through the torso. Great job. Exhale to release that right elbow. Elbows draw across to the left side. And then when you're ready, start to stack the left elbow over the right, coming into your prayer twist on this side. Great job. Exhale to release. Come through center. We have one more movement from this child's pose, and this is called a shoelace pose. Now you can do it directly on the ground, or maybe you bring a pillow under your body, and this would be a great option for this one. We're going to take our left hand and start to pull it palm face up towards the right, across our body. We're then going to take our right arm, cross it over our torso in front of that left arm, over the prop if we're choosing to use a prop. Again, you can just do it on the floor as well. And then as you're ready, start to sink your heart down, pulling your fingertips in opposite directions as you sink into this stretch. Maybe you notice it on the outer arms, maybe through the shoulders. Maybe it's the shoulder blades or that space in between. With each exhale, allow yourself to sink just a little bit deeper. Beautiful job. All right, on our inhale, start to rise up just a little bit. Releasing that. And then we're going to take that left arm from behind. We're going to thread it in front. And then we're going to sink it back down, pulling fingertips in opposite directions once more. Noticing how this feels through your shoulders. Beautiful job. Last breath. Inhale to rise. Great job. Go ahead and move all these props out of your way. And we're going to come into a seated staff next. So we're going to send our legs long out in front of us, maybe on the floor, maybe on a prop. Keep your knees bent or start to straighten the legs by pressing through the heels, pulling your toes back towards your spine, sitting up tall and lengthened. And then with our next inhale, let's circle the arms up and overhead. Reach them up really high. And then with an exhale, begin to hinge and forward fold, reaching down towards your legs, the floor, your toes, or maybe even grabbing a strap, wrapping it around the toes. Draw your heart towards your toes. Feel that length and extension throughout your entire body. Beautiful job. Next exhale, sink it in, release a little bit deeper. Inhale, roll it up to a straight spine. And then let's take our right knee and bring a gentle bend into it and start to either keep it tucked by our left hip or our right hip, or if you can, feels like a great option to bend the knee back and bring the heel back by your hip. So knee can be up and foot down, or knee down and heel back. And maybe if you're sitting on a prop, this creates just a little bit more space for your body to take that half heroes on the right side. Our left leg is still extended out long. Really point the toe away from you. And then as you exhale, take it into that forward fold over your extended leg. Inhale to roll to a straight spine, and we'll switch sides. So left foot comes and tucks back by the hip in either option. And then right leg extends out. We point the toes away from us. We're lengthening our spine. And then as we're ready, exhale, hinge and forward fold, extending yourself over that front leg a little or a lot. Beautiful job. Inhale to roll it up to a straight spine. And then we're gonna come into a fish pose next. So go ahead and send both legs back out long. If you did choose to sit on a prop, maybe go ahead and bring that prop out from underneath you. As fish pose is a bit of a reclined pose. And so we're gonna wanna bring our elbows down to the mat as we almost are laying down, but not quite. Your toe legs are extended out. You can always come into a constructive rest with the knees if that feels better for your lower body. If you're keeping your legs extended long, we'll point those toes just like we did before. We're squeezing our shoulders back towards each other as we start to lift up through our heart. Maybe lift our gaze. Imagine we're rolling our shoulder blades back towards each other. And then you can either continue to keep the neck long. You could find a prop to rest the head on if that would offer just a nice little support. I'm using the wall here, but you could use any prop nearby. Again, really focusing on this opening through our heart center, even if you're resting your head. And then another option would be to start to drop the head and neck, bringing the top of the head towards the mat, not resting any weight on it though. Still, no matter where you're at, focusing on opening the heart, opening through the front of the neck, the chin, and rolling those shoulder blades back towards each other. Beautiful opening. All right. Our exhale, go ahead and release. And find yourself rolling onto your right hip. All right, now we're on our right hip. We're gonna bring our right hand directly under our shoulder. We're on our right hip. We're kind of in a clamshell to start things off with our knees stacked and our ankles stacked. But then take that top foot and drop your sole of your foot outside of that bottom shin. Now you can keep a hand on the ground. You could maybe even bring a prop under the hand for a little bit more lift and support. But as we inhale, we're gonna press into both hands. We're gonna start to lift our hips up and then take your top hand and circle it up towards the ceiling. We're in a grounded side plank variation here, lifting our hips. Great job. Exhale to release it back down. We're going to start to take this as a flowing movement. As you press into your hands, you lift your hearts and arch the spine. And then exhale, bring it back down. Now for a little bit more, you can take that bottom leg and as you lift, extend it long along the floor. Great job. Exhale to bring it back down. Take this at your pace, fast or slow. Really opening up through the top side of your body as you lift. Great job. Last one, bring it down. Now go ahead and bring that right hand that's under your shoulder and slide it all the way out. Now you can bring your head to rest on your hand like a little prop if you'd like a little pillow. And then either keeping your knees bent in a clamshell or send the legs out long. You can keep them long in a straight line or just slightly in front of center. We're going to keep our feet together. We're going to keep our ankles together. We're going to keep our knees together. We're going to engage our core. And we're going to start to lift our feet off the floor a little or a lot. And then exhale to bring them down. Inhale to bring them up. Exhale to bring them down. Now again, those options for the legs are to have the knees bent and stacked. That can be a great option. You could have those legs long and in a straight line. It's going to be a very challenging option. You could have them long and at a bit of an angle in front of you. Still challenging, but maybe a little less so. Great for our oblique muscles here. Last time. Great job. Exhale to lower those legs. Feel free to make any movement you'd like. And then let's switch to the other side. We start in our side plank variation. So we used to have hand under shoulder, knees stacked in our clamshell to start. And then we're gonna take the top foot, place it in front of the left shin. As we inhale, we lift those hips and find our side plank variation of our choice, either extending that bottom leg or not, depending on our own practice. You're doing great. Last one. Exhale to release. And then lower all the way onto the side body. We'll set up for that oblique stretch. Your opposite hand could be on your hip or on the floor for more support. And then as you're ready, start to lower and lift both legs in unison. Again, knees can be straight or legs can be straight. Knees can be bent or straight, sorry. Really work to keep feet, ankles, and knees together. Whether you're lifting only a little bit or a lot. Great job. Last time on this side. Exhale to release. Feel free to take any movement and then make your way up to a standing position, getting there in your own time and in your own way. From our mountain pose, we're going to start by taking just a micro movement through our shoulders. So as we inhale, we'll allow the arms to come up to shoulder height. We'll then flip the palms away from us like we're about to say, stop, don't come any closer. All right. Now, again, this is going to be a micro movement, so you might not notice much movement. But as we inhale, go ahead and push your hands forward, really rounding through those shoulder blades, almost like in that shoelace position we were in earlier. And then as we exhale, we're going to draw those shoulders back in their socket just enough that they start to kiss shoulder blades behind our back. And then take that slight movement on your own, pushing from your furthest forward to your furthest back. And it might not be very much movement, but notice what's there. Great job. Last breath. Inhale to push the hands away, and then exhale to release. Feel free to take any movement you like. All right, inhale, circle arms, reach them up and overhead. With our exhale, we're going to drop our right hand to our right hip. We're going to dangle it down there, really pulling the fingertips down towards the floor as we begin to allow our left hips to pull towards the left side of the room, taking it into a side bend. But make a concentrated effort of pulling this left hip as far over as you can. Really make it a deep side bend. Great job. Come back through center. Exhale, left hand down, pull right hip over. Inhale back through center. Exhale, cactus, and then continue going into your forward fold. Reaching hands towards the floor, a prop for your legs. Since this is our first standing forward fold, we're going to stay here for just a moment. Feel free to bend the knees, shift the weight, rock a little left to right, or shake the head. You could even grab opposite elbows, allowing the weight to help draw your head towards the floor. Eventually start to settle into a little bit of stillness. Press into your hands wherever they're at to halfway lift, figure 7. Exhale to release. Start to interlace the fingers, and then as we inhale, we'll drop the hips
Start to roll up to standing. Take those fingers, flip the palms up towards the ceiling with those fingers interlaced. And if having the fingers interlaced does not feel good in your shoulders, you can always have them separated, but still in that same palm out position. And then as we exhale, go ahead and start to take your hands behind your head, and maybe your gaze follows as you pull your hips forward, back bend. Great job. Exhale to release. Mountain pose. Alrighty. Inhale, circle arms up and overhead, one or both hands. You could always have a hand on a prop here. We're going to take a little bit of a balance challenge. First, coming up onto one heel and then the other. Pedal through the legs. Great job. Exhale, hinge into your forward fold. We'll go ahead and pause here, and then go ahead and roll into the balls and toes of your foot and lift the both heels just a little bit off the mat. And then exhale, rock back onto the heels and lift the toes. Take it forward and back just a couple of times. Great job. All right, pause. Bring the soles of the feet flat. And then rock left to right, rolling through the ankles. Beautiful job. All righty, come back through center. Exhale, hinge into your forward fold a little bit deeper. And then go ahead and plant your hands on the floor, on your props. We're going to step back for a low lunge with the right leg. Go ahead and ground that back knee. You're welcome to roll your mat or maybe add your blanket for a little bit of cushion here. We're going to work to pull our hips forward as we sink into a crescent lunge. Now you're welcome to keep your hands down. Maybe you bring them up to your knee, a prayer, or maybe you take them alongside the ears. Great job. All right, with our next exhale, go ahead and bring your hands down to a prayer at heart center if they were lifted. And we're going to take this into a twist. Now you can keep with the prayer twist like we did on the mat earlier, or you could take it into an opened arm twist. So we're going to hook the left elbow or the left hand on that front knee, or the back hand, sorry, whichever one that one is. I guess it's the right hand, because we moved the right foot back, sorry. And then we're going to take it either into our prayer twist or into our open arm twist. Whatever feels better for your body. Beautiful job. Inhale to come back through your low lunge. Hands are planted, floor or props. And then let's take it into a half runner's lunge. So we start to straighten that front leg. We'll push the foot forward, peel the toes off the mat, lengthen our spine, and then as we're ready, hinge over that front leg. Now, depending on if you're feeling it strongly in the ligament of the knee, maybe add a gentle bend so the stretch moves to the thigh muscle. Great job. Exhale to release. Step the front foot back, and we'll switch sides, bringing that right foot forward. We sink into the hips. We set up for our crescent lunge. Taking your time, you got this. Feel your breath. Make sure to build from your foundation up. As long as you're feeling strong and steady, we'll drop the hands to our heart and then find our twist towards that front leg, either prayer or wide armed. You're doing great. One more breath. Exhale to release. Low lunge. Inhale to pull those hips back. Half runner's lunge. Exhale to hinge and forward fold over that front leg. Great job. Come back through your low lunge. Step it back into a tabletop, bringing both knees under hips and hands under shoulders. And let's take a spinal balance here. So we'll start to take our right toes back, lifting them a little or a lot. They could be at hip height, they could be on the floor. And then start to extend your opposite arm long. Be very mindful that you're not dumping into hips or shoulders and that you're keeping your gaze straight down. Pull fingers and toes away from each other. And then exhale and round elbow to knee, curling through the spine. Take this at your own pace. Inhaling to extend, exhaling to round. Great job. Last time. Exhale to release hand and knee to floor. And we'll take that on the other side. Left leg and right arm. Extend it long, pointing fingers and toes away from each other. Exhale to rest. Take it at your own pace. Great job. Last time. Exhale to release. And then let's take our right hand, take it out to the side and open up. We're going to thread the needle here, taking that right hand under the body and then dropping the right ear and shoulder towards the mat or maybe towards a prop. Being mindful that the feet don't start to come in towards each other, but the legs are parallel. Press into that left hand, inhale, right hand up and open. Exhale to release. Take it on the other side. Inhale, left hand up and open. Exhale to release. Ear and shoulder towards the mat. Keep pressing into that right arm, that right hand to assist in your twist, even as you check in to make sure your feet are still parallel. Beautiful job. Exhale to release. Inhale to plant both hands. All righty, we're going to come into a downward dog next. So you're welcome to stay here on the floor or move up to a wall if your downward dog prefers that. But no matter where we're at, our hands are about shoulder distance apart. We start to lift our hips away from our bent knees. And we're in that familiar V shape. Go ahead and take a few pedals through the leg. Shifting your weight. Lifting and lowering heels, maybe finding some movement through the head even. Beautiful job. Now find a little bit of stillness. Straighten through the arms as you press into the palms of the hands, letting the head dangle between the arms. All right, we're going to step in our feet 1 footprint, shortening our downward dog stance just a little bit from where we would normally be. And then take your left hand, begin to take it over towards your right hip. You can have it on the hip or anywhere down towards the ankle as you begin to twist and look under your arm. Exhale to release, downward dog, short stance. And then let's take that on the other side. Reaching opposite hand to the other leg, again, anywhere from hip all the way down to your ankle, wherever feels good for you as you start to look out under your arm. Great job. Exhale to release to your downward dog. And then no matter whether we're on the wall or the floor, we're going to release ourselves so our body is resting against the surface. And we're going to take our hands out a little bit wider than shoulder distance and a Sphinx breath. We'll bring the forearms, hands, and elbows to the mat. And then as we're ready, or to the wall, and then as we're ready, start to lift the forehead, arch the spine. You can press into the hands to create a little more space for your body. If you're on the wall instead of the floor, you could be really pressed up against it, or you could have a little bit of space as well. Great. Now go ahead and bring those hands under the elbows, letting the elbows come out at a 90-ish degree bend. We're going to take our Sphinx twist here as we begin to drop our right shoulder towards the floor or wall and look over our left shoulder. And then take it in the opposite direction. Left to right. Great job. All right, finish out, balance out both sides. With our exhale, we release the back bend. And then find your way into a standing position. Getting there in your own time and in your own way. Coming into our mountain pose. Inhale, let those arms float up. Exhale, right hand down, left hip over. Inhale through center. Take it to the other direction. Inhale through center. Exhale, cactus and hinge. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're going to interlace the fingers, but this time the funny thumb is on top. The awkward thumb is on top. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Lift the palms as you rise up, tall mountain. Exhale, hinge into your back bend. Exhale, release, mountain pose. All right, we're going to take our balance challenge next, which involves those 4 props. So we're going to grab them. We're going to put them on any height, depending on what prop you're using. You can have a lower, a medium, or even a tall height. We're going to put them in a semicircle on one side of our space. We're going to make sure we can put our foot in between each one. So that way we have room. You're always welcome to hold on something for support. You'll pick which side you start on. You can start at the front or the back of your blocks or your props. And you're going to take and put your foot on the outside. You're going to lift it over the prop. So this is where the height of the prop would come in. And then you're going to touch down. You're going to do it 3 more times until you reach the outside of the last one. And then you're going to come back through. Now you can touch down just slightly. You could just tap the toes and go a little faster. If for a little more stability, set the foot down in between each one. Our main goal here is to focus on lifting with that thigh muscle, that leg, as you prop over the props. You might notice this in the hip, the glute, thigh, maybe even the hip flexor as you go back and forward. Great job. Last time through, end where you started. Come back through center, take any movement you think your body might need. And then we'll start again on the other side. And sometimes it's easier to just flip yourself than move the props, but it's up to you what you want to do. When you're ready, we'll start lifting and lowering. Make it through your props. Great job. Last time through, finishing where you started. Great job. Exhale to release. Alrighty, go ahead and move all those props out of your way. We'll come standing in the center of our space, so feet a little wider than hip distance with toes out and heels in. So we inhale, we'll let the arms rise for a short 5-pointed star. And then as we exhale, we'll start to bend into the knees, sink into the hips as we come into a shallow squat. Take that for just a few breaths. And then with your exhale, see if you can sink it down a little bit deeper. We're going to find our way coming finally all the way down to the mat, getting there in our own time and our own way. Feel free to make it a deeper squat as you go or any other way. And eventually we end up coming down onto our hips. And we'll start to get into some restorative poses. So we'll start with a twist, grabbing a bolster or a pillow and bringing it next to our right hip. We're going to bring our legs either stacked together or staggered in some fashion. We're going to lengthen our spine. On the exhale, I want us to take both hands on either side of that pillow or prop that you're going to lay on. And then as you exhale, begin to slide your torso down, letting your ear rest on the prop. This is too intense. We do have all those extra blocks laying around, all those extra props. So feel free to take it into more of a beach chair by using the blocks to prop it up, if that feels better for your twist today. Maybe we close our eyes here. Maybe we allow ourselves to come back into that counted breath. 3, holding for 3, exhaling for 6. Beautiful job. Pressing into your hands. We'll switch sides. Again, same thing. Maybe it's easier to move you. Maybe it's easier to move your props. Left hip closest to your bolster. Stack or stagger the knees. Inhale, straight spine. When you're ready, exhale to twist towards your prop. And then sink it down, resting either ear on the pillow, depending on the twist you want through your torso. Let your breath be easy. Either slow, steady, and deep, or maybe focused and counting. 3, 3, 6. Inhale to push up. Exhale, we're going to move the bolster. Whether you have prop blocks or not, go ahead and grab them. Bringing one on about shoulder distance apart. Come back into your tabletop. And then either drop your elbows onto those blocks or drop your hands onto the blocks. We're gonna take a puppy pose here, dropping forehead towards the mat or even onto a block. And then keep those hips back and up. You might feel a nice stretch through those shoulders here. As the dangle of this puppy pose helps to stretch through those underarms. You have the elbows on the blocks. You're more than welcome to bring the hands into a prayer and maybe let the prayer hands rest at the nape of your neck, if that's part of your practice. Beautiful. Our last breath here. Make it deep, long, and juicy. And then as we're ready, we'll start to find our way into our final resting pose of choice. As always, you could take a constructive rest. You could take a legs up the wall. You could take a corpse pose. Or you could add any of these props and pillows that we use throughout our class. Maybe even coming back into that beach chair setup if that feels good to you. As you're settling up, know that you can make any movements and any adjustments so that you can start to relax on command. We'll take a deep breath in, holding it at the top. And then as we exhale, we'll begin to release into our final resting pose. Maybe you close your eyes, or maybe you simply soften your gaze. As we really find a comfortable position, we'll take a deep breath in, filling our lungs completely. And as we exhale slowly, once again, see if you can release any tension. Allow your body to relax, and maybe your mind to start to settle. Take another deep breath in, filling your lungs completely, holding it at the top for a moment, and slowly exhale, releasing your tension and stress. And repeat that breath for a few cycles. Sinking deeper into relaxation. Finally finding your natural rhythm. As we come to the end of our practice, we'll take this moment to reflect once again on the concept of happy endings. Life is a journey, and it's filled with a myriad of emotions, each one contributing to our growth and our understanding. As we settle in, let's bring our attention to our heart center. We'll notice any emotions that have been stirred up or are present. And without judgment, take this moment to simply observe them. Acknowledging both the pleasant and any unpleasant feelings that you might be experiencing. Understanding that it is a natural to experience a range of emotions. And allow yourself to be fully aware of them. Now, as we begin to explore the duality of happiness and sadness, we imagine these two emotions as sides of the same coin, each giving depth and meaning to the other. Without sadness, we wouldn't fully appreciate those beautiful moments of joy. And without happiness, we would never understand the lessons that come from our challenges. Reflecting on this duality of sadness and happiness, we can imagine these two sides of the coin simply cannot exist without the other. Just as night gives way to day and winter turns into spring, sadness and happiness are simply part of the same cycles. When we embrace this duality, knowing that each experience, whether joyful or sorrowful, is a necessary part of our journey. Even deeper, we consider the concept of happy endings. Every ending is also a new beginning. Maybe we start to visualize a door in front of us. This door represents a transition, a passage from one chapter of our life into the next. Take a moment to reflect on a recent ending in your life. It could be something as simple as the end of our yoga class together, the end of your project this week, or even the end of a day, or something bigger. But as you visualize this door in front of you, which represents new opportunities and the potential for your happier endings, as you approach the door, can you allow yourself to feel a sense of anticipation and excitement for what lies on the other side, although unknown? And when you're ready, imagine opening the door and stepping through. Maybe feeling a sense of renewal or possibility as you step on the other side. Maybe trusting that every ending, no matter how bittersweet, holds the promise of a fresh start. Take this moment to acknowledge any feelings that have been stirred at the moment, whether they are feelings of happiness or sadness, maybe somewhere in between. But allow yourself to be present with them without judgment, embracing a full spectrum of your emotions, knowing that each one is part of your unique journey. And as we rest in this peaceful place, just on the other side of that door, take a moment to reflect on the happy endings that you envision for yourself. These could be goals you're hoping to achieve, relationships that you've connected and nurtured, or simply moments of contentment and joy in your day. Allow yourself to fully immerse in these positive visions for just a moment, feeling any warmth or happiness that they might bring. And then take a moment to feel some gratitude for your practice today, for the opportunity to connect with yourself, and the ability to be present in this moment. Thank yourself for showing up and for allowing yourself to be open to new experiences. We'll slowly bring our awareness back to our breath. With each inhale, breathing in a sense of calm and contentment. And each exhale releases any lingering tension or worry. Knowing that we have the power to create our own happy endings through mindfulness and awareness of our feelings. We can carry the sense of mindfulness and awareness and even openness with us as we move forward into our day and our week. Knowing that we have the strength to embrace both the endings and the beginnings that come our way. As we conclude this meditation, we'll take the deepest breath of our day so far. Maybe taking this moment to feel grounded or centered. And when you're ready, gently open the eyes, wiggling fingers and toes, and maybe coming to an upright position in your own time and in your own way, facing me. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you find time to embrace your happy endings and new beginnings this week. Thank you so much. Until next time.